I'm Doug Hoyes. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee and co-founder of Hoyes Michaelis and Associates. When you file a bankruptcy, you've got to tell your trustee how much money you make every month. If you make over a certain amount, you've got to pay more. You also lose some of your stuff. Now, most stuff people have is exempt. You're not going to lose your basic clothing and household furniture and things like that. It's only if you've got investments, a really valuable car, own a house, something like that you potentially could lose. You do lose your tax refund when you go bankrupt. But otherwise, most people don't lose anything when they go bankrupt. It eliminates all of their debts. If you have a car that has a loan against it, you can continue paying the loan and keep your car. If you have a car that's worth less than the limit set by the government, you can also keep the car. So what you want to do if you own a car is talk to a licensed insolvency trustee. They can crunch the numbers and let you know whether or not you'd lose your car if you filed bankruptcy. If your house is worth about what's owing on the mortgage, then it doesn't have any equity. You can keep it if you want to, so long as you're up to date with your mortgage payments. However, if the house is worth a lot more than what's owing on the mortgage, then either you have to pay the difference in order to keep it if you go bankrupt, or give the house to the trustee, they sell it, and whatever money comes out of it goes into the pot for your creditors. It's very unusual for someone to have to sell their home in a bankruptcy because either the home is worth enough that they can refinance and deal with their debts, they don't have to go bankrupt, or there's a bit of equity, in which case perhaps we file a consumer proposal. So when you file bankruptcy, you have to report your income to the trustee every month. So send us copies of your pay stubs. That's how we determine if your income is over the limit and you have to pay extra. You're going to attend 2 credit counseling sessions, which everybody loves because we actually give you the tools to manage your money better. So when your bankruptcy is finished, you're in much better shape. If you go bankrupt, we're going to file your tax return, certainly for the year of the bankruptcy. So if there's a refund that you would be getting, you won't get it during the year of bankruptcy. And otherwise, you have to just cooperate with the trustee. If there's any questions we have, help us out with that. If you have any assets that we need to deal with, then again, you'd be helping us with that. But we set this all out for you well before you actually start the bankruptcy process, so you know exactly what you have to do. There shouldn't be any surprises. Well, if you file bankruptcy, there will be a note that says you went bankrupt that will stay there for at least 6 years after the bankruptcy is finished, depending on which credit bureau you're with. So sure, that's something to be concerned about, but in most cases, what you're doing is getting rid of a huge amount of debt. So your credit score will actually improve quicker after the bankruptcy is done than if you had kept all this debt and tried to keep paying it off yourself. So in most cases, your credit score will actually improve by going bankrupt. Not immediately, it will take a bit of time and there's some steps you need to follow, but in most cases your credit score will improve because you filed a bankruptcy. You can find more on our website at hoyes.com or click on the link in the description below.